Mic's still on.
Fuck. All right, imaginary sports fans. You are real, but the shit you follow is just fantasy. How we doing? I'm Bob, and you're listening to, for the first time on air, Snarky Lark ReBubble here on the shit stream. We are happy to bring you this show mostly live, as we didn't edit shit. It's the beginning of the playoff hunt, and the standings are tighter than an un's cunt, and we move into the week 10 and 4 games to play. We have a new douche back runner, as well as a familiar face in the dogfight first. All that and more coming up. You're listening to Snarky Lark ReBubble on the shit stream. This publication of Snarky Lark ReBubble has been brought to you by Hiscock Toys. If your kid needs something to play with, make it a Hiscock. Thanks for staying tuned. Welcome back to the ReBubble. I'm Bub, and let's get down to business to repeat my puns. Starting off with our recap, like every season for the Browns, let's begin in last. Starting at the bottom, Bub was right. Steel cutouts went to Jared, and they haven't been seen since. In our 12 spot, we have a new face with steel cutouts becoming my new favorite for the golden douche. And after he was polished by Jared, Oates has usurped the boys for the dishonor of being the league's swamp rat. Jared earned his first win in a row and must be elated to see his playoff hopes alive as he hangs on to the fringes of that slutty girl's dress we all want to sleep with named playoffs. Jared moves to 8th and hops 2 spots looking to square off against Queen Anne's Revenge in Week 10. Oates is in 12th in the standings, but he's first on the waiver wire. He'll look to pick up a win against Pitter Patter and play spoiler. Do you believe in miracles? I asked this question a week ago, and I, for one, don't. But I do believe in back porch justice, and that is precisely what happened this week when Stoop Boys took Patter behind the woodshed. The woodshed's okay, but Patter withstood the loss and drops to 6-3 and sits riding the hump seat in 3rd. The boys finally pull the rabbit out of their hat and their head out of their ass in an upset that took Pitter Patter from driver's seat to riding bitch. Patter looks to get at her, show her up a playoff berth, and get his strong fantasy D hard against Oates. Them boys finally found the ladder and looked to climb against Tenply in Week 10. Ah, what a week. It's been chaotic and dramatic. A 12-seat dumpster fire burned our top dog. You've been listening to Armchair Quarterback League's Snarky Lark ReBubble. I'm Bob, and we'll be back right after this. Shitstream Services has been brought to you by Purdy Lawn Service. We'll smoke your weed out. Johnson & Johnson and Johnson & Johnson Law Offices. You fucked up. Let us get you off. You're good. You're good. I can hop back into it. Welcome back to our show, everyone. Glad you could stay tuned. I'd just like to say thank you to our sponsors. This show takes a lot of generous, strange, random donations. Dropping their league-high 4th game in a row, Kamara Sutra sits in our 10 spot after getting beat by that bitch. That bitch showed no mercy, and now she reclaimed her seat as queen of the league. While you would think that bitch would have a target over her head, but it is a sexual deviant Sutra that has our league's highest points against. That bitch seems to be skating by in her draft day projections as she's made a sizable 3 moves all season. Like a fart in the wind, Sutra's playoff hopes are all but up someone else's nose as he drops to 3-6 on the year. Sutra will need to pull off something he has done before, but if he dreams on building a fantasy dynasty, he'll need to start that all next week against the Lord of the Meme. That bitch looks to solidify a first-round bye with a win next week against the Weasel. Moving up, rounding out our back 9, let's put our way into this matchup. The Lord of the Meme sure got some laughs when he was insulted by the Swamp and his drainers. Bub called it as Swamp drainers scream into the 2-hole without telling Meme Lord to even bite the pillow. The Lord of the Meme is a fringe team sitting at 4-5, seeing as he has yet to crack 1,000 points after 9 weeks and sits in dead last still in our scoring system. With the matchup bigger than most thought, the two teams shook up the top and bottom of our standings. Lord of the Meme looks to throw his dick in the ring with a couple more wins. He'll try to rebound against Sutra in Week 10. The Swamp is beginning to win the hearts of children in a possible first-round bye as he tries to crunch the taco. Well, in 8th is Jared, number 7 team in this week's standings. After this. Welcome to Sandy's Box, the best bar in Southwest Arizona. We have a one-of-a-kind desert special. That's it. Hi, I'm Sam Darnold, cornerback for the New York Jets. I'm here to tell you about Glauberman's Eye Care and Spiritual Healing for Wayward Boys. Glauberman's Eye Care and Spiritual Healing for Wayward Boys has been around for decades. They can cure anything that ails you, like an overpriced running back and no offensive scheme. Glauberman's, see the spirits. Welcome back to the show, lady and dudes. I'm your host, Bub, and we just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in. At number 7, Queen Anne is taking on water with a third straight loss, this one to the midget hands of the taco himself. Queen Anne doesn't want to talk about it, and is going to say each team did their damnedest to prove once and for all that people love defensive games. Much like everything my father ever told me, that just is not true. Not much to write home about in this chicken milking match. Queen Anne falls out of the last seed to the rest in 7th. With 4 games left, he'll look to recover from what has been an abysmal 3 weeks and rebound with a dub against that sandwich rapist Jared. Taco keeps proving me wrong with another win and makes it 3 in a row with a record of 5-4. Taco looks to get loco against Swamp Drainers in what could be a playoff preview. In number 6 is the Taco. Stay tuned for our final recap after the break. Hi, I'm Paul. I'm Peter. And I'm Mary. And we invite you to come down to
The Metal House. All metal, all the time. We got death amps, tramp stands, and lava lamps. Piercing shop and tattoo parlor for those freaky fetishes, as well as customizable mosh shots. Get your photo of you getting the shit kicked out of you. So stop into The Metal House.
Welcome back to the final segment of our show. We have our final matchup wrap-up from Week 9 of action. A guy in a field once said, "The heat is getting hot." He may have been talking about the literal heat that day, but it still rings true through the meadows and into the forests. The same forest you used to cut wood, that wood then turned into 10-ply, who carries on the tradition of the man in the field. He is getting hot as he has won 4 in a row. 10-ply shows Ridley me this, his 2x4, and cruises into a strong 4 spot at a record of 5-4. The Weasel's still pulling splinters from his tiny weasel asshole after dropping his 2nd in a row after winning 4 straight. The Weasel shares the record with 10-ply at 5-4 for both of them in 5th and 4th. Fun number shit. I'm losing steam and it's almost my fap time. 10-ply will try to beat a dead horse in Stoop Boys in Week 10. The Weasel lives on and fights another day against Queen of the League, that bitch, in what will be a top 5 showdown and possibly Game of the Week in Week 10. Now is it time for Bubnish, Guru of Fantasy. I don't know if that was Indian, but Bub went 4-2 in his picks this week as we try to smell what the Bub is cooking over the stench of his feet. Be glad this is a talk show, folks. Here we go. 7th versus 8th place, we have Queen Anne's Revenge squaring off against Jared. Bub's pick. Queen Anne's Revenge loves a booty and he robs Jared of his jewels. Then we have a matchup of number 11, Them Stoop Boys, versus number 4, You're fucking 10-ply, bud. And as far as the Bub's concerned, Stoop Boys turns back into a pumpkin. 10-ply flies. The number 12 Steel Cut Oats face off against 3 Pitter Patter. It'll be a patter batter made of oats. Pitter rolls. Number 10 Sutra versus number 9 Lord of the Meme. The Lord of the Meme poised, calm, and is going to lose. Sutra on 6. Number 2 Swamp Drainers versus number 6 The Taco. This man can't be stopped. Drain that swamp. Drainers. Won that bitch versus the Weasel. I can't bet against this. I mean, that bitch. I don't know if I like that. That doesn't make any sense. Well, those are the picks. We'll see you next week for Snarky Lark ReBubble. This has been Shitstream.